In the grim darkness of the far future, where hope is but a fleeting ember, a shadow rises from the forgotten past. They are the Necrons, immortal, implacable, and as ancient as the stars themselves. Their story is one of tragedy and ambition, betrayal and vengeance. To understand the Necrons is to peer into the deepest recesses of galactic history, a time when gods walked among mortals and empires spanned the void. Long before the first human walked Terra, there existed a species born beneath a cruel and wrathful sun. These were the Necrontyr, a race cursed by the very star that gave them life. Their world, a radioactive wasteland, was an unforgiving crucible. From the moment of their birth, the Necrontyr suffered. Their lives were short and plagued by disease, their bodies frail and riddled with pain. Yet in their suffering, they forged a will as unyielding as the metals they would one day become. The Necrontyr's early history was marked by brilliance and despair. They built cities of towering black stone and discovered the secrets of matter and energy. But their greatest discovery, the stars themselves, became both their salvation and their doom. They dreamed of escaping their dying world, spreading their empire across the galaxy. And so, with unparalleled ingenuity, they constructed stasis technology and ships capable of crossing the void. Yet their curse followed them, and even as they expanded, they could not escape the shadow of their mortality. In their quest for purpose and power, the Necrontyr encountered the Old Ones, an ancient and godlike species whose mastery over the warp allowed them to create and nurture life. To the Necrontyr, the Old Ones were both an inspiration and an insult, a reminder of their own fragility. Envy turned to hatred, and the Necrontyr declared war on the Old Ones. But the Old Ones' mastery of the warp far outstripped anything the Necrontyr could muster. The war was a disaster, plunging the Necrontyr into an era of civil strife and despair. It was then, in their darkest hour, that the Necrontyr discovered Satan, the star gods. These beings of pure energy fed on the life force of stars, their power vast and terrible. At first, the Necrontyr worshipped the Satan as saviors, forging bodies of living metal for the star gods to inhabit. The Satan, now embodied and free to roam, offered the Necrontyr a tantalizing bargain: immortality and the power to destroy the Old Ones in exchange for their servitude. The Necrontyr, desperate to escape their mortal coil, accepted. Thus began the biotransference, a process in which their organic bodies were stripped away, their minds and consciousnesses encased in shells of necrodermis. The Necrontyr became the Necrons, eternal and indestructible, but at a terrible cost. Their souls were consumed in the process, leaving them cold, emotionless, and enslaved to the will of the Satan. Empowered by the Necrons, Satan unleashed their fury on the Old Ones. This was the war in heaven, a conflict that tore the galaxy asunder. Entire star systems burned, and the Old Ones, for all their power, were driven to the brink of extinction. Yet, as the war raged on, the Necrons began to see the truth of their situation. The Satan were not saviors, they were parasites, feeding on the misery of the Necrons and the destruction of the galaxy. In a final act of rebellion, the Necrons turned on their star god masters. With cunning and sacrifice, they shattered the Satan into fragments, imprisoning them in shards to be used as weapons of war. The Necrons were free, but their empire lay in ruins, and the galaxy was overrun with new life forms spawned by the Old Ones' desperate experiments. The Necrons, weary and fragmented, retreated into vast tomb worlds, sealing themselves in stasis to await a time when they could rise again. 60 million years passed. The galaxy changed. New powers rose and fell, and then the tomb worlds began to awaken. Across the stars, the Necrons stir, their dynasties reactivating after millennia of slumber. They find a galaxy teeming with life, creatures they see as little more than vermin infesting their rightful dominion. To the Necrons, this is not a new age. It is a reclamation of what was always theirs. Each dynasty has its own purpose. Some overlords, such as Imhotep the Stormlord, seek to rebuild the Necron Empire with cold precision. Others, like the Silent King, harbor more complex motives. Their memories of the Satan and their ancient sins driving them toward reluctant alliances or renewed vengeance. Yet, regardless of their individual goals, the Necrons remain united by a singular truth. They are the rightful masters of the galaxy, and they will stop at nothing to reclaim it. The Necrons are more than machines. They are a testament to the dangers of hubris, the cost of ambition, and the weight of choices made in desperation. They are the architects of their own tragedy, and now they seek to impose their will on a galaxy that has forgotten them. Yet in their cold, unfeeling march, there lies a question for us all. Is immortality worth the price of one's soul? Thank you for joining me on this journey into the lore of the Necrons. If you enjoyed this exploration of Warhammer 40k history, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the Adeptus Lorecast, and activate the Vox beacon, that's the notification bell, to stay updated on our latest transmissions. Until next time, remember, in the grim darkness of the far future, knowledge is power, and the Emperor protects, but not even the Emperor can escape the long shadow of the Necrons.